Hello and welcome to Business Live. Coming up, total economic shutdown to hit the country in the coming days as organized labor lays their boots to embark on a strike come Thursday, October 10, over illegal mining activities in the country.
We have concluded as follows. Our strike remains unchanged.
We shall be analyzing the economic implications of this decision in the country shortly. Also in this bulletin, President Akufo-Addo describes the deal with Eurobond debt holders as a sign of investor confidence.
We're talking about savings to the Ghanaian exchequer of something in the region of $10 billion. That's a significant amount of money. And what it is meaning is that Ghana as economy is now back to where it was before the crisis.
Has the economy really recovered? We shall be finding out soon. Plus, Ghana launches Citizen app to facilitate digital service provision across state institutions.
With this interoperability, so once you've submitted data once, it can be accessed by the passport office, by the GRA, by the driver's license, by the insurance.
We have details of this and more for you. Please stay. Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Organized labor is still set to embark on a strike come Thursday, October 10. This industrial action aligns with its demand for government to crack down on illegal mining by banning all forms of mining in forest reserves, among other measures. Now, this follows a crucial meeting today to deliberate on the president's request for more time to address their demands regarding the issue. Joshua Ansah is the Secretary General of the TUC.
The government meeting with organized labor's response. We have concluded as follows. Our strike remains unchanged. I want to repeat. The strike notice remains unchanged. We have the view that what the government has proposed to do does not adequately address our demands. And therefore, our notice of strike notice remains unchanged. Thank you.
Let's try and explore this economic matter and, of course, the move by organized labor to embark on a strike. Joining us via Zoom is economist Professor Lord Mensah. Thanks so much, Professor Mensah. Good to see you. It's been a while. Now, it appears we are in for a big trouble should organized labor go ahead with their planned action.
Yes, I mean, that's a huge one. The president, I think, shouldn't have allowed this to happen, should have acted swiftly, because, you know, the economic consequence of this strike is going to be a huge one, and we're already having problems with the Galamsey also taking a negative economic toll on the economy. So if you allow this to go on, then it's going to be a double impact. And from where I sit, I think giving an instruction and then also, you know, looking at the possible losses that we can get, are we going to have from this, strike? It's a problem, because we live in a country where all our avenues for raising money, you know, has come down. And so the only thing that we are relying on is taxes. And the taxes, mainly indirect taxes that we leverage on to build, you know, this economy. And that is, you know, we get that from human activities, movement of labor from one point to the other, and then all those fuel purchases and other things. Those are the things that builds up into these indirect taxes. And if you are collecting taxes of about 55 billion a year, and if you split that by day, and this strike lingers on daily basis, I can tell you the country will lose much. And that will derail, you know, our budget for this year. And again, we may not be able to meet some of the targets that we propose to IMF. And that will be, you know, a problem. Because remember, we've leveraged some of these taxes, with the IMF program. And, if it continues that way, the economy will be grounded. And for me, I think the president shouldn't have waited for this to happen. It's not a good signal at all.
And they say that, well, our economic gains will be eroded if indeed they should embark on that strike.
Of course, that's a huge one. It's going to derail some of the progress we've made so far.
All right, so from now, conclude for me.
Under the IMF program, it's going to derail some of the economic achievement that we've had so far.
All right, so from now to Thursday, it's just about 3 days away. How best do you think that, well, this matter can be averted to prevent this looming economic meltdown?
Yeah, it's a matter of, the president taking a bold step. Coming out to say that at least all mining activities should be halted. The reason why we are struggling with this galamsey is that we can't differentiate between what is a small-scale mining and what is a large-scale mining. The scale of the mining has gotten to a level where individuals are using large machines and all those without caring about the environment and other things. So from where I sit, I think he should stop all sort of mining in the country, and that should go a long way to help us. We can't wait to have galamsey having environmental impact on the economy, and then also we're going to have economic impact as a result of this strike. It's not a good signal at all. It's not a good signal.
All right, I'll plead with you to hold on for me as we talk about the president once more in this aspect, because he has described the deal with the Eurobond debt holders as a sign of investor confidence in the economy. Now, well, it is coming after government secured almost 100% participation from investors in the Eurobond Debt Exchange Programme, which ended on September 30. Now, speaking in an interview with France 24 TV network, the president noted that the agreement demonstrates economic recovery from the COVID-19 shocks.
I think it's an important development because, first of all, it is a sign of the confidence that your creditors have in your economy. The 98.6% of those holding the commercial debt of Ghana have agreed on the reworking of the debt. That's what essentially the restructuring is about. They're going to, as from next week, exchange their bonds for new bonds which have a different maturity dates, different rates of interest. $13 billion of money was restructured as a result of this agreement. $5 billion equipment, 37% of the nominal value of our debt has been essentially cancelled. And another $4.3 billion of savings on interest will also accrue during the period. So altogether, you're talking about savings to the Ghanaian exchequer of something in the region of $10 billion. That's a significant amount of money. And what it is meaning is that Ghana as economy is now back to where it was before the crisis.
All right, so are you convinced, well, that indeed the economy has recovered, Professor Mensah?
I'm not convinced at all.
Why?
I think, you have to look at the investor's perspective. The Eurobond investor understands the investment dynamics. They know there are losses, there are defaults, there are gains in investment. And then also, if you consider the quantums of portfolios, those Eurobond guys manage, they are huge ones. Ghana's debt is just a microcosm of all the portfolios that they are managing as far as the bond space is concerned. And so for them, they are prepared to give us a long way. They can give us so many years as far as, we indicate that we owe them and we are prepared to pay. They don't have problem at all. Even if we want to borrow, some of them are prepared to lend to us. Let me tell you, if you go to the Eurobond market, even junk bonds are sold on the market. And so the point where your country, becomes not being investor friendly, you can still attract investors. You still attract investment. And the question will be at high cost.
But if,
at what cost?
If you have, Professor Mensah, if you have almost 100% participation, that speaks volume, really.
You see, you have a country that owes you, and let's assume that the country, owes you about 2% of the investment you are managing. For you to lose everything, you are better off accepting whatever deal they put on the table. That is what is happening to Ghana now. Like I told you earlier, the investor community from the Eurobond market, they are not like Ghanaian investors. They understand the market very well. The gains they're supposed to make from us, they've made it already. If you are giving them, 7%, and the Americans were giving them 1%, the premium they're supposed to enjoy for the years that we've been paying them the coupons, they've enjoyed their principal already. So whatever the case may be, like I said, if you give them, they can give you 20 years, they can give you 30 years. They know definitely you will pay in the long run. So from where I sit, that is not investor confidence. It's a way of telling you that, yes, of course, your debt does not matter that much to us.
I see. All right, so let's talk about some areas you believe when really looked at in terms of our microeconomic indicators will go a long way to help us, achieve that status we are looking for.
Yeah, of course, if you look at the economy in general, we can talk about the exchange rate. I mean, what's causing the exchange rate to go up as it is now? As we speak now, the Middle East fight is also looming, bringing its way, building up into the exchange rate market. And that is why we're supposed to domesticate our market. Make sure that the things that we can produce in the country, we produce them. Because as we speak, oil price has started lifting up again, and we know the consequence of oil price when it goes up. So effectively, let's try as much as possible, to domesticate our market. At least if it's food that we are consuming, 80% of that we should be able to produce in the country, and that will go a long way to help us. I'm talking about the essentials, as far as the economy is concerned.
Very well. Thank you so much, Professor Lord Mensah. Always a delight to have you on, speak to us on the economy, basically on business life. We appreciate your time, sir. Away from that, Ghana has secured high marks in the new World Bank Business Climate Bank rankings, that's Be Ready report. Now, it, however, performed poorly in other specific areas captured in the rankings. More in this report.
When it comes to the three major pillars that guides the rankings, that is regulatory framework, public services, and operational efficiency, Ghana found itself in the top tier of countries in 2 out of these pillars. The data revealed that it had an average of more than 40% in all these categories. The report showed that Ghana had done quite well when it comes to regulatory framework. However, when you look at public services, that is having the required support to aid business activities, it struggled in the area. It also performed poorly in some of the sector-specific areas like market competition. The maiden report covered only 50 economies around the world. The report is part of World Bank's strategy to facilitate private investments in countries. It replaced the bank's flagship Doing Business report, which was halted in 2021 due to some integrity issues.
This is still Business Life. We have more for you after this break. Hello again. Economist at the University of Ghana Business Group, Professor Patrick Esuming, has questioned the sustainability of government's SME Go initiative. According to him, government's inability to address basic challenges affecting small businesses will make the policy ineffective. Speaking to Joy Business at a quarterly economic roundtable by the Finance Ministry and the University of Ghana, Professor Esuming urged the government to target specific areas within the SME space and reduce the duplication of SME policies.
SME and many economies are seen to be the backbone in driving growth. But Dr. Patrick Esuming has been bemoaning the ineffectiveness of government in properly aligning this to its growth strategy.
I think Ghanaian business will be more competitive if the general economic environment is working stronger and they are not saddled with taxes or high cost of production, high electricity tariffs. And I think that we should focus on all of those, because that one increases the overall profitability of all businesses, not a select few. So those who get this funding support, or those who don't get this funding support, how are they going to survive? So for me, that's where my attention would have been. If you are going to spend that money, you should probably look for sectors that are likely to have wider impact on the overall economy.
Also, Director at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic, Professor Peter Korte, has also been expressing concerns with respect to numerous taxes being placed on these SMEs, as well as the politicization of such initiative.
One other thing that struck me is the fact that some of the things you plan to do are not new. So, access to credit, there's been the World Bank was made, there's been the leader support, there's been many of this support, but in addition to finance, there were other things, trading, getting entrepreneurs to prepare books, all of this have been done. Why did it fail? I think that point for me is very important. We need to take a step back if we want to make this SME Go work, and I also share the view that it's a great concept.
There seemed to be little or no productivity with respect to these SMEs over the years. Now, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ernest Aiti, has also been asking government to deal with regulatory processes.
Again, in the 1990s, I was very much involved with the work of the World Bank in this area. So I was very much involved in the RPED project, the Regional Program for Enterprise Development, which was not just in Ghana but throughout Africa. Looking at the constraints, I worked with the World Bank a lot, and with UNDP and the Ministry of Finance to find, and the National Board for Small Scale Industries in those days, to find what the problems for small enterprises were. How could we solve them? Was finance the binding constraint? We did work that put pressure on banks in Ghana to train more people that understood banking, understood finance, understood small enterprise finance.
Now, there are the calls for critical analysis and discussions to keep these SMEs afloat amidst the current economic downturn. For Joy Business, James Ishen.
On to one of our headline stories. The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Julie Esiam, has described the launch of the Citizens app as an advancement in Ghana's digitalization agenda. According to her, this innovation is the first in Africa and has the potential to facilitate ease of accessing all government services, thereby ensuring efficiency. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the Citizen app here in Accra. More in this report.
The Citizen app is designed as a personalized platform for all Ghanaians, aiming to improve access to a wide range of government services while delivering real-time information to users. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bamia highlighted that the app will significantly enhance the ease of doing business in the country.
Ghana had made a lot of progress, but we had one missing link, and that was data interoperability amongst the different government agencies. That was the key missing link. In Estonia, they had this infrastructure called X-Road. The X-Road infrastructure was essentially what was linking the different government institutions. With this interoperability, you only need to submit data once to the system. So once you've submitted data once, it can be accessed by the passport office, by the GRA, by the driver's license, by the insurance. And this is the once only principle. And it makes things so easy.
Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam stressed the importance of transparency in revenue mobilization, emphasizing how the app could support this goal.
With the Citizen app, all government transactions will be fully traceable and accountable. This digital platform will allow us to track payments, services, and interactions in real time, greatly reducing the risk of financial mismanagement and corruption. This, in turn, will foster greater trust between the government and the people, which is a key ingredient in building a successful and thriving nation.
Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Julie Esiam, also endorsed the app's potential.
Ghana is the only country that has implemented this app. We are now rubbing shoulders with developed markets, with Estonia, with the US, with Dubai and other developed markets. What is this app going to do for you? Please don't even think about the agencies. Just think about yourself as an individual. When your data is entered into the Citizens App platform. When you need a passport, you don't have to enter your data again. When you need DVLA, you don't have to enter your data again. That is the definition of the interoperability that we're discussing.
The Citizen App is expected to streamline interactions between citizens and government agencies, making processes more efficient, transparent, and user-friendly.
In more business news, Coco Carriers Association of Ghana is boycotting services nationwide over the failure of management of the Ghana Cocoa Board to increase the labor fees for carrying cocoa beans at various warehouses. The group is demanding an upward adjustment of the fee from an initial 1 cedi 70 pesos to 3 cedis for carrying a bag of cocoa beans. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reports the carriers are citing unhealthy working conditions which are impacting their health and well-being.
Menim Badumber has been a cocoa carrier for more than 2 decades now. He alleges the bulge on the left side of his head is as a result of the many years of carrying several bags of the cocoa beans. Carrying the bags of cocoa beans caused this boil in my head. They refused it, insisting I didn't get it at the workplace but home.
I say, Monsieur Omama, me fanko hospital no mo say me yara wo fie nti. Ama me de tifie, man fanko hospital.
He's not alone. His colleagues complain of similar drudgery working under tiresome and what they describe as unhealthy environments. As we speak, I feel pains all over my body. You can really feel tired after carrying the bags. The chemicals are hazardous to our bodies. They should spray after we've left the work. These working conditions, among other related reasons, have compelled the cocoa carriers to abandon their daily duties.
All right, so just some few meters behind me is the cocoa depot here in the Ashanti region, specifically Kumasi. And as you can see behind me, the workers are not ready to go in. Normally, you should find them stacking the bags of cocoa, which have been transported from the various cocoa communities in the region into this particular depot. But unfortunately, they have abandoned their services. They are saying that until their demands are heeded by the management and also the government, they are not going back to work.
The group is rejecting the 1 cedi 70 pesos wage per bag. They want a wage which is commensurate with their hard labor. Raymond Atanga is the chairman of the Cocoa Carriers Association.
We all know the economy we are in, that every utility bill is being increased. So we are not being able to survive with the 1 cedi 20 pesos. And they were expecting that the increment that will come this year would have been better. But then they came up with 1 cedi 70 pesos, which is still not just fair to us.
In 2022, the association embarked on a similar industrial action demanding wage increases and improved working conditions. The strike led to thousands of bags of cocoa beans being abandoned at various Cocoa Marketing Company Limited warehouses. If they refuse to increase the amount, we won't go back to work.
3 cedis no so teso 5 pesos kulana yani nikesi anya adwuma no ekosi 3 months.
The group says until their calls are heeded by the management, they are not ready to rescind their decision. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
And that's our program for today. I am Pius Kojobaka. We have more stories for you when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Eurobond debt restructuring shows investor confidence in economy. That's according to President Akufo-Addo. Also on that portal, T-bills auction, government misses target again. Interest rates fall. More stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. See you at 8 p.m. with Prime Business.